Action. All right, can you introduce yourself to the viewers at home?
Hi, my name is JJ Smith.
And what do you do? JJ, why are you here? Why have I brought you here today?
I struggle to exist.
And while struggling to exist.
And I do that by writing songs.
All right, writing songs, performing live, and you're also running open mic and event space artifact events.
Yeah.
All right.
Open mic and now more of a concert series these days.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Cool. So I want to hear all about it, but we'll start with what are some of your first musical influences?
Yeah, earliest musical memories come from my sister, actually. I've got an older sister, and I listened to a lot of what she listened to.
So what are some of the, was it like boy bands?
Yep.
Yeah, NSYNC, Backstreet,
Ricky
98
Martin.
Degrees.
Ricky Martin was a big one.
Mid-90s pop music.
But the big one that she got me was Astro Lounge by Smash Mouth.
Okay.
Started with All Star.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it didn't start with All Star, but that's an awesome record, actually.
Agreed.
And
Timeless.
yeah, that kicked off a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Becky.
And you mentioned some video games you were into.
Yeah, so it was that, and then once I discovered Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, core childhood memory, that soundtrack, and really all the soundtracks to the Tony Hawk games,
Mm-hmm.
if I hadn't had those in my life, things would be really different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise, I would say.
They introduced me to a lot of artists. Like AC/DC was a huge early influence. No shame in that. Love AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny Cash. I think Johnny Cash was on Underground.
Oh, which Johnny Cash song?
was
I know Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire.
Was on, yeah.
Yeah, Ring of Fire. They had a couple Metallica songs, and but the big one was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 was that opening video,
Mm-hmm.
TNT.
AC/DC.
Sick intro, and I had never heard music like that before.
Very cool.
Changed my life.
So that took you from like the boy bands into like some guitar bands. Sounds
Yeah,
like.
saved me.
All right, saved you for sure. Saved all. What's the first instrument you learned? Did you start on guitar or did you start somewhere else?
I actually started on piano
Mm-hmm.
with Mrs. Helens, and yeah, as a little kid, I didn't stick with it for too long. Wish I would have, but yeah, I did that for like 3-4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, it just wasn't doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I was like 13, 14, hand in hand with the Tony Hawk stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I want to rock out, and my
Went over to the dark side.
yeah, yeah, let's go with that. And yeah, my folks got me like a starter guitar set, and yeah, it was all downhill from there.
Was it like came with the amp with the guitar
Yep.
and like the picks and
Yeah, it
the
was like $200.
yeah.
199 Epiphone.
Okay,
Yep.
so you started on a solid body electric, and then when did you jump over to acoustic? Was it a little bit of a
Acoustic?
gap?
Yeah, that was like end of high school, so I got
Oh,
like
wow.
all the heavy death metal stuff out of the way because
Mhm.
I had fun rocking out, and I was like, oh, acoustic's not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was like senior year, I think. Junior, senior year, I finally started acoustic.
And then did you kind of like stick with acoustic, or did you jump back and forth between the two?
Back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was the cool thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. You're right.
It
Not
is,
correct.
right?
Yeah, I would say. Okay, I mean, you kind of touch on this. So, like, first musical memories from your younger years was Tony Hawk and boy bands. Was there like, once you get into your teen years, was there a band that kind of like blew your head open, or like a song that really opened you up?
Yeah.
Which happens to a lot of people, like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
Yeah, once I got through all the classic rock, I did like all the 60s, 70s stuff. Then I started getting really heavy. So like Metallica, and then one thing led to another, and I discovered a band called Opeth.
Mm-hmm.
And they completely changed everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard anything like them, still haven't really.
Mm-hmm.
And they were what got me into acoustic guitar. And they got me even more into electric guitar, songwriting, because they do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing it in a way that I didn't know was possible.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since then, I was like 15, 16, I've just been on the Opeth hype train.
Who turned you on to them first?
Really crappy friend I had in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one good thing that came out of that friendship.
Okay.
But yeah, props to
And
him.
how would you describe their music to someone who doesn't know what Opeth sounds like?
Oh man, how long do you have?
Let's say 60 seconds.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's I have to take a moment to think about that
Sure.
because they're a death metal band, but they also do acoustic stuff, and they write songs that are 10 minutes long. Generally, people call them like a progressive death metal band or a progressive metal band. They've eased up off the screaming and stuff like that. So they're a band that evolves and grows over time.
Mm-hmm.
And they make no apologies for the variety that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, and I respect that a lot. And that just shaped a lot of how I view music, how I hear it.
All right. Shout out to Opeth. They're European, yeah?
Swedish.
Swedish.
Mostly Swedish.
Nice. A lot of good Swedish death metal bands, right?
I was all about that for a while.
Very cool. All right. Swedish death metal influences. Who would have known?
I know.
Did you have a guitar hero growing up? Who did you look up to specifically when it came to learning guitar?
First one was definitely Angus Young.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like the ultimate guitar guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so in your face, and I love how he plays. I think he's got an incredible tone, and he's almost like the lead singer of the band, even though they have a lead singer. You know,
he's the focal point,
just as much the lead as either Bon Scott or Brian Johnson. So yeah, it was definitely him. Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not?
Mm-hmm.
For better and for worse. And then Michael Ockerfeldt is the lead singer, one of the guitar players of Opeth. He was a big one.
And then are those still some of your big influences? Do you have anyone that you follow a bit more now in your adult years?
Yeah. So as I got more into the acoustic playing, once I discovered Nick Drake, that changed a lot for me. He used a lot of open tunings, and he just wrote in such an interesting way. So he was a big one. A lot of Michael Ockerfeldt's acoustic work, that was big. And then I ended up getting into the Decemberists. And Colin Malloy, I think, is a genius songwriter. And whether he's writing something simple, something more complex, it's always interesting.
Guitar influences. You're a really great singer. You have a great range. You got the Robert Plant thing going on. So, who are some of your big vocal influences on that end of things?
Other than Robert Plant,
yeah, of course,
Jeff Buckley is huge, and again, he was another game changer. And oddly enough, Nick Drake, he had that Nick didn't have crazy range, and he didn't sing very loud, but the things that he did sing, he sang very well. So when I use my voice in that way, I think of him. Michael Ockerfeldt, in a way, because he was the first person that I heard do regular singing in metal music. Because he would do both the death metal growls and stuff. I was like, wait, you can switch to singing? And that blew my my metalhead mind at 15. So he was a big influence that encouraged me to start actually singing.
Got it.
Rather than just being a guitar player.
Right, that was going to be my next question. So when did you because I think most of us start on guitar, and then when we start writing songs, start learning to sing, so when did singing become part of your repertoire and something you focused on?
It was right around when I started listening to Opeth and picking up the acoustic guitar. Didn't start singing until, I just started strumming chords.
Got it.
And that did it for me.
And then are you a self-taught singer, or did you ever take lessons, or where does your vocal approach come from?
I started as a self-taught singer, and then I did a little bit of theater growing up, and eventually I went to a vocal coach that I still see today, musical theater coach.
Okay.
And that's something that I swear by. I check in with her as often as I can.
So that was a big progression in your vocals, sounds like?
Yeah, because I knew that I could sing, and I knew that I was capable of singing and carrying a tune, but eventually it got to the point where I just needed to know what I was doing.
Okay.
In a little, just in a stronger sense.
Yeah. So what are some of the techniques you learned and some of the little tips and tricks you learned?
A lot of it was just breath control and vocal awareness. My coach is really big on that in promoting relaxation and just getting you to be aware of how your body's positioned, mind over body, that type of stuff. Encourages a lot of yoga. I don't do yoga, but
you should
do a lot of stretching and a lot of breathing and centering, that type of stuff.
Get involved with unsigned and artifact events and with running. I'm specifically thinking of your showcase, the unsigned showcase with the different acts you book. How'd you get involved with that? And was that always part of your plan, or is that just something you fell into?
No, it was something that I completely fell into. I was hitting every open mic that I could under the sun, and then I saw an ad for Unsigned, I forget where, and then I walked into Artifact events and was blown away by the space because it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give a shout out to Amy Fry, Super Fry.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's still DJing on Chirp Radio on Mondays, but she started that event and she was running it for years and years. And I just kind of filed it away in the back of my head because the first time I went in, I had an amazing time. Went back a couple more times, and I was like, I wonder if they need some help, or I wonder if I could be a part of this in some kind of way. And I kept that on the back burner, and eventually I just reached out. I was like, Amy, do you need a hand with this? And she said yes. And one thing led to another, and she ended up handing it off to me. And I've been running it ever since.
What advice do you have? I'm guessing you've learned a lot in your years there. What advice do you have for someone who's interested in starting an event like that, or even just running an open mic? What have you learned that you think would be beneficial to someone who wants to do the same thing?
Honestly, to just go for it. And a little bit, I guess this goes back to how I started with Unsigned. So when I came on with that, I just encourage anyone to be tenacious about it. Be a little reckless, because you're not going to start an event if you're not willing to take a stupid risk. I knew nothing about running sound. I still don't know that much. I'm sure it's kind of obvious, but I know enough to get everything all set up. And I gave myself a really vicious crash course in AV. And if you're willing to put in the time, things generally tend to work out.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to struggle with it, and that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah. Just get uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself and make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It applies to anything, right?
Yeah, it's going to be stressful, but that's good.
Get into some specific details about some of your music. So, first one, I love the zombified version of Time of the Season that you do.
Thank you.
So, where did that come from? That's such a, I don't know, unique idea.
It's so weird.
It came out of, I don't know, where did it come from? What drugs were you on when you came up with it?
I was drinking so much water that day. It's just waterlogged, full of life. No, dude, that is the most random thing that I had ever ended up doing. I was working on Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan, actually, at the time. And it's just that kind of Texas shuffle thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I never actually broke down that song, so I was determined to learn how to do that. And I got it down, and I always loved Time of the Season by the Zombies. I'm a huge Zombies, Kinks fan.
Okay.
Love that era.
60s.
Yeah. The Brit pop rock.
Sure.
And I've got some hard opinions on the blues. Love them, appreciate them. I think blues can get a little boring and pretentious at times. So I was like, what if I just took Pride and Joy and made it disgusting and dissonant? And it was just for fun. And then I had the lyrics for Time of the Season in my head. I was like, wait, what if we just tried this?
Yeah.
And it ended up working out.
All right. So your new song, Is It Me, has some really lush instrumentation on it. How do you decide on what instruments to use? Because, I don't know, like you, I write on acoustic, and that song kind of lives on acoustic guitar, and it's always intimidating, I guess, to broaden it and add different things. You can just add whatever you want, so it's always kind of hard to decide where to start. So where'd you learn, I guess, to add your instrumentation? Did you have someone helping you out with that, and how did you make those choices?
Yeah, so I had a couple of ideas, but I try to be a really open book with it. So I'm working with Andrew Christopoulos over at Soul Honey Records, and he's just got a really good ear. Him and then my bassist, mandolinist, keyboardist, my
Swiss
dear friend, General John Paul Jones, I call him, Keith Dunn, dear friend of mine. We also are roommate buddies, and the two of them have a really good ear for what I'm going for. So I came in with a general idea, I knew I wanted some kind of keys and some vocals on it, and we just brainstormed together and played around with it. And Andrew had the idea to throw some Mellotron on it, which I absolutely loved. Loved the Mellotron. And yeah, we just let it come together in the studio.
Your live setup, what guitars do you use, pedals, amps? What sort of gear are you rocking these days?
Yeah, mostly it's a lot of guitars because I do a lot of different tunings. So yeah, I recently got a Telecaster, but it's a different style Telecaster, so it's got 2 humbuckers.
Okay.
Squire put out a, they call it a Troublemaker series, so it's really just a Squire Telecaster in the style of a Les Paul. So it's got the dual humbuckers and it's got coil split on each one. So I just love being able to switch, have that level of tonal variety when I do electric. And then, yeah, I've got a Guild hollow body that I love. It feels a lot like my acoustic in a way, really big body, and it's just really comfortable to play. And yeah, I've got 2 different acoustics that I really love. One's a Takamine that I swear by.
It's the black one you
yeah,
play. Yeah,
I love that thing. That's probably my favorite guitar. It's just got a great pickup in it, sounds good, and yeah, it plays really smoothly. I've written pretty much all of my songs on that thing.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I got a new edition that was a Yamaha that I really love, Yamaha acoustic.
Have you had any like major milestones or breakthroughs on your journey as a musician? Like maybe like some awesome live show that really came together in a way you weren't expecting, or any big moments that were really encouraging for you along the way?
Yeah. I played probably my favorite show ever this past December. We played Shubas for the first time.
Oh, I was there.
You were there, yeah. A lot of people were there, which I was really grateful for. And yeah, I had been making it a goal of mine to play Shubas for the longest time, and it came together in a really perfect way. We played a really good show. It was the tightest we'd ever been, and it was just so much fun. Most fun I've ever had on stage. Yeah. That's a special memory. Gonna be for a long time.
For aspiring singers, songwriters, performers, what have you learned that you think would be helpful to someone who wants to start doing what you're doing?
Don't quit.
That's number 1?
Number 1.
And number 2 and number 3?
Yep.
All right. Love it.
Don't
Keep it simple.
quit.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Surround yourself with things that make you not want to quit. Because that's the only way it's not going to work out.
For sure. All right. Last but not least, can we expect any new music after Is It Me, and any upcoming shows you want to plug?
So much on the horizon. Yeah, I have to give a huge thank you to Andrew at Soul Honey. We're working on so much music right now. I've got 3 or 4 songs that are done. Is It Me was 5. And we've got, God, I don't even know how many more in the works. But yeah, there's a lot coming out. I've got an EP that I guess I'm announcing now that I'll be...
Exclusive.
I know, right? You heard it here first. Yeah, so we're doing a live EP that I'm really excited about, some videos to go along with that, and yeah, our next big show is actually going to be, we're playing Shubas again on Cinco de Mayo.
All right.
It's going to be a Monday show, and yeah, I'm going to be announcing a lot more soon, so stay tuned.
All right. JJ, thanks for your time, man.
Thank
It's been
you,
a pleasure.
Roger.
See you around town.
Take care, man.